What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower, and today I'm here to have a chat with y'all about the Mandalorian Chapter 20, The Foundling. A quick update for next week's videos, you guys. I'm going to be heading out of town that Wednesday, taking a little vacation to visit family. So as far as next week's videos goes, my priority is going to be covering Bad Batch first because it's going to be 2 episodes and it's the season finale. So if I don't have that video up by Wednesday, I'm hoping to at least have it up by Thursday. And then the Mando video, I'm hoping to sometime get up between that Friday and Sunday. So hopefully, the videos won't be delayed too much, you guys, but I just wanted to keep you updated just so you know that there probably will be a little bit of a delay next week. I appreciate your guys' patience and understanding. I appreciate all of you who have continued to support me, and for those who have subscribed to my channel. And for those who haven't subscribed to my channel, what you waiting for? Go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. If we do that, you guys, we're going to do a watch party live stream. And what are we going to be watching? We're going to be watching through an entire Star Wars trilogy. I won't be able to show the footage because y'all know Disney will copyright me instantly, but we will do a watch party live stream. I will chat with y'all, and it is going to be, I think it's going to be such an incredible time. I've always wanted to be able to do a live stream, you guys, so I definitely can't wait until we get to that point. As far as which trilogy we cover, that'll be up to y'all. We'll do a poll down the line. And then also head over to my other YouTube channel called Top 10 Character Moments and subscribe there as well. I'm halfway to my 150 subscriber goal. I think I'm over halfway there at this point. So if you guys could continue to help me get there, we're so close. Please subscribe. It's free and it really helps support my channels. Okay, you guys, so this episode of The Mandalorian, it took me on a bit of a roller coaster. Obviously, we're sitting there like, all right, the Foundling. Is this going to be the week where we get the scene that's in the trailer that I really want to talk about? They tricked me so bad in this one because there's a child that gets kidnapped, right? Like earlier in the episode, because they're back at the Mandalorian covert and this creature just swoops in, takes the kid and ends up leaving. And so they're like, all right, we got to go rescue him and stuff. And then I'm sitting there like, okay. So when they say Foundling, they weren't talking about Grogu. They were talking about this kid. And I was kind of just sitting there like, man, that kind of, I guess that's fine, I guess. And then my dumbass got fooled because then they show Grogu and the armor. I'm like, oh my, wait, there's hope. We're gonna get it. Oh my gosh, we're getting it. And this isn't the first time they've done a flashback scene like this, you guys. Like, they've done this before with Din Djarin in season 1, right? Like, when she's forging, like, Din's armor and he's seeing all this stuff. Granted, I think this flashback was a lot longer, but it doesn't even matter because it was so great. It's definitely interesting because I'm sitting there like, all right, who's gonna end up saving Grogu? Like, all these clones are coming in, they're wiping out the Jedi, and I'm like, all right, who's gonna be on like the other side of this elevator? Who are they taking him to? And then freaking Ahmed Best is just standing there. And I'm like, is that Ahmed Best? I'm like, what the heck? Okay, he's just like a random Jedi. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, he isn't just a random Jedi. He's that one Jedi from the Jedi Challenges series on YouTube. I think his name was Master KELLERAN, if I'm not mistaken. For those who haven't watched Jedi Challenges, I highly recommend y'all go and check that series out. It's like sort of like a game show style thing, but with like physical challenges, and you have like these kids that go and you do these certain things, like they go through obstacle courses, they complete quizzes. I thought it's rather cool. So I'm pretty sure that's who he was supposed to be portraying in this episode, if I'm not mistaken. He was going all out too. Like, he had 2 lightsabers for a little bit, deflecting blaster bolts over the clone troopers. I'm like, man, this dude's like holding his own. And it's like they get away on a speeder, but those freaking gunships swoop in and start chasing after him. And then they land on a platform that has Padme's ship on it, which had me a little bit confused because I'm like, all right, what's the timeline here? Like, why does he have Padme's ship? Unless it's just like another starship that looks like it, you know what I'm saying? But this dude like clearly, had allies or whatever that looked like they were from Naboo. And so I'm curious like how that all kind of came about. But I don't know, I'm trying to remember, maybe like KELLERAN is from Naboo. I can't remember. I know like during the show, they plant like seeds of his origin story, but I can't remember remember them all. But nevertheless, you guys, it was very cool. If you would have told me, like, hey, Kelleran Beck was gonna be in The Mandalorian, that would not have been on my bingo card for this show. I'm so happy that Ahmed Best is back in the Star Wars universe, portraying this Jedi that he got to play during a series, and now the fact that he's in The Mandalorian, I think it'd even be cool, like, potentially if he shows up later on in this season as well, right? Like, we have other Jedi around, so if we had, like, you know, Kelleran Beck around with characters like Luke or Ahsoka, like, I think that'd be pretty cool. So the Order 66 scene was like the first half of this story, along with some stuff that happened at the beginning, like, right, with the Mando's training and Grogu playing with crabs, and then Grogu has to compete in, like, this challenge, and, like, he's almost afraid to use his abilities, right? Almost kind of freaking, you know, Jedi Fallen Order style, post-Order 66 style, of everybody being afraid to use their powers, right? So the fact that Grogu did, and then he just, like, nailed him with all 3 darts, like, that was cool. Between, like, this episode and, like, episode 2, it feels like Bo Katan is becoming Grogu's mother. But all that being said, I still don't believe that she has the best of intentions, right? Like, even though she played it up real good in this episode, right? Like, hanging around all the Mandalorians and, you know, helping lead the mission to save the kid. When she started talking with the armor about that mythosaur, I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. And I want to trust Bo, but I don't. I love Bo Katan. She's always been, like, one of my, you know, favorite characters and stuff, but I don't trust where her head's at right now. Another crazy plot twist in this episode. You know, Paz Vizsla, Jon Favreau's Mandalorian, he's the father of that kid that got kidnapped. And then it kind of, I guess, will get Paz and Din back on good terms, right? Because the two of them were kind of at each other between Book of Boba Fett and the start of this show. And I think, like, the fact that, you know, Mando's now one of them again, and he ends up saving his kid from a big fall. Like, I think there's going to be, like, that level of respect now. Another crazy thing about this episode, and I was kind of thinking the exact same thing until Din answered it, is like, well, if you can't take off your helmet, how are you going to eat your food? And then Din's like, when you get your food, you go to a place where you can't be seen. And then Paz says, because you're the one that's leading the mission, you have the right to stay at the campfire by yourself and eat. You know, this is the way. Yeah, guys, I really enjoyed this episode. I've seen a lot of people on social media that are still very upset that, like, there isn't a clear-cut story of where we're going right now or who the main villain is. But, I mean, I can argue, guys, that that's kind of been what The Mandalorian has always been, like, especially in season 1, right? Where we didn't end up meeting Moff Gideon until the very end of the 7th episode, like the second to last episode of that season. Like, that's kind of just how The Mandalorian has been. Like, it's just us, you know, taking these characters and going on different adventures every single week, and I love it. I think the only reason season 2 was different is because Moff Gideon was also the main villain of that season, and we'd already been introduced to him, so they kind of put him in there a little bit more. I made it a joke during that season, right? Like, we get the annual Moff Gideon shows up in the final 5 minutes of every episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just a thing. It's not clear cut who the villains are right now, whether Moff Gideon's gonna come back, because, you know, we heard last week, you know, one dude was saying, I heard he got out before the tribunal, which I'm still very curious about. It could be Bo Katan. Bo Katan could end up being the main villain this season. It could even be Snoke. I mean, just kidding. It probably won't be, but you get my point. I'm loving this show, you guys, and I cannot wait for the continuation of this show through season 3, through season 4. Not much for me to really complain about, honestly. But at the end of the day, that's just my opinion. I understand everyone has their opinion, so make sure to let me know your opinion in the comments below. Be respectful of everybody else, you guys. We don't need to be ripping each other's throats out over our opinions, all right? Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
This is the way.
This is the way.